Adventure Time is back, baby! Yes, the second season of Fionna and Cake is back once again, as we watch Huntress Wizard and Fionna struggle to save Finn from a deadly poison. Hello everyone, I'm Finn. Welcome back to Finn Films. I am a absolutely massive Adventure Time fan. Like, to me, Adventure Time is up there with, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender as, like, the best Western cartoon of all time. This show holds a very special place in my heart. I mean, I even named my cat Cake. In today's video, we're gonna be breaking down everything that happened in Season 2, Episode 2 of Fionna and Cake, as well as finding all of the kind of fun Easter eggs and references to the original Adventure Time series in this episode. This episode being absolutely insane and bonkers as we watch Huntress Wizard get her head blown off. Season 2, Episode 2 of Fionna and Cake opens with a flashback, specifically to how Huntress Wizard got her powers, as we see her as a younger woman training with the Spirit Dream Warrior, this being the first rites for one to gain green wizard powers in the land of U. We watch Huntress Wizard repeatedly trying to break a stone in half with a branch, as we see her training for many years, eating pine cones and developing her skills, until finally, the boulder breaks in two. Inside the boulder is a tooth, the Spirit Dream Warrior telling her if she still seeks power, the tooth must bite. As we watch her immediately, without any hesitation at all, like an absolute psycho, cut her own hand off. The Spirit Dream Warrior taking her to the heart of the forest, where we see the same bramble bush that has poisoned Finn in the present, as we then see Witch Wizard, another one of the green wizards, pop out, as it is her job to guard the heart of the forest. We also see that she has the same mask that the bear that fought Finn and Simon had in episode 1, it being revealed here that Witch Wizard was the green bear fighting them. Huntress Wizard then walks forward as she places her severed hand on the bramble bush, the bush wrapping its vines around the hand and setting it afire with green flame. As Huntress Wizard's eyes change to the green color, her hand regrowing and her classic mask appearing on her face, as she is now a full-blown green wizard. The other green wizards appear, doing their hilarious wizard chant.
One with the heart, keep its mysteries on lock. Green wizards only.
We flash over to Fionna's world, where we see her, Cake, Gary, and Marshall all dressed up in burglar outfits. As we watch the group go and break back into the sweet spot, Gary wanting to try and get some of his baking stuff back after the sweet spot was reclaimed by Queenie in episode 1, where it was revealed that Queenie actually owned this land the entire time. Also, Fionna is wearing this little robber mask, which kind of looks like Huntress Wizard mask, and it's honestly pretty freaking cute. As we watch them gather Gary's stuff, suddenly it comes crashing down, making a loud sound, waking up one of Queenie's guards who was sleeping in Marshall's van. Cake trying to punch this guy in the face when, to the gang's shock, the man catches it, revealing himself to be the fire deity that they set free in Season 1 of Fionna and Cake, who is now working for Queenie because he needs the money. The gang frantically running away. Back in U, Huntress Wizard has made her way to the heart of the forest, where we saw her at the end of episode 1, to the bramble where Finn was poisoned, when she is confronted by the green bear, who we now know from the flashback is Witch Wizard, the witch transforming back into her normal form at seeing it's just Huntress Wizard. Witch can tell that Huntress is up to something here as she sees the pipe in her hand, as well Huntress is acting pretty sus. Huntress telling her she just needs to take a little of the sap from the bramble because her friend needs it. Witch realizing her friend here is Finn. We also know that Finn is more than just a friend to Huntress Wizard. Witch being angry at Huntress for telling Finn about the heart of the forest. Witch telling Huntress that Finn deserves to die as the two face off in a surprisingly really epic and cool fight scene. I freaking love that Huntress Wizard is one of the kind of main focused characters of this season because she's so freaking cool. And I really wish we got to see more of her in the original Adventure Time series. So it's really cool getting to see her, you know, kind of be in that main spotlight for this season of Fionna and Cake. This fight scene as well was super cool and very kind of anime-esque at times, which is pretty kind of rare and cool and unique for Adventure Time, as we watch Witch Wizard ultimately transform into a giant crocodile as she bites down on Huntress, who transforms into a log ninja style, Witch breaking her teeth on the log, which funnily enough is the name of this episode, The Crocodile Who Bit a Log. Huntress then shooting an arrow at her that transforms into a net, binding her. Witch yelling at her, pleading with her not to take the sap, as a horrible thing will happen, though she doesn't know exactly what that horrible thing is. Huntress taps the bramble, getting a vial of the sap, but the sap continues to flow out of it. Huntress panicking as she pulls the pipe out, the green goo gushing everywhere. The ground begins to shake, trees erupting, as it is revealed that this bramble bush is actually just sitting on top of the head of a strange wooden deer-like creature, an almost eldritch and horror nightmare-like creature that is bound to the ground, the creature writhing in pain. As we watch as Huntress and Witch Wizard lose their masks, also losing their magical green wizard powers, the other green wizards then showing up, as the strange monster begins collapsing in on itself, creating this weird magical portal. The other wizards also losing their powers. As they all hold Huntress Wizard responsible, they begin pulling out knives, attacking her, throwing these daggers at her. Huntress slipping on the green goo as one of the daggers with a freaking bomb attached to it hits her in the shoulder, knocking her into the portal, which leads to some strange, weird, spiritual forest world. The dagger blowing up as we see Huntress's body is blown to pieces, her head floating away. Like, what the fuck, Adventure Time? Back in Fiona's world, we see the gang drinking at a bar, upset that their little robbery had gone wrong. We also see LSP playing an arcade game in the background as he says, "piece of junk," as he loses at his game. Now, this could just be a random throwaway line, but it felt to me like a reference, possibly to Star Wars.
What a piece of junk!
Though honestly, I could just be reaching here, it could just be a throwaway line, but it did feel like it was supposed to be some kind of a reference. As the group drink, wallowing in self-pity, Cake wants to go back and fight the fire deity, asking the bartender Ruby for oven mitts and tinfoil, a funny reference to Finn wrapping himself in tinfoil to kiss Flame Princess in Adventure Time. Fionna, though, is determined, saying that they just have to come back crazier than ever next time. Over at Wizards, we see Finn is not doing so well, as Simon is talking to PB on the phone, as he frantically tries to learn more information on the heart of the forest. PB sending some banana guards in an ambulance to help. I guess if you'd really call that help. Fionna and the gang then return to the speed spot with Pep Tank and Baby Finn, as we see Cake is wrapped up in foil, again a reference to Finn wrapped up in foil. However, before they use the tank, Gary notices a for sale sign, as the group then decide, together they are going to save up enough money so they can buy the land and then open the sweet spot. We flash over to Huntress Wizard, who is in a kind of dreamlike state, laying on the forest ground with Finn. Finn telling her that he's thinking about dying soon. Huntress saying if he dies, then he will forget all about her. Finn telling her never, as then we flash back to reality to Huntress Wizard's severed head and blown apart body floating in this weird forest-like spirit world. Now, I don't know if this is exactly a reference, but in one of the craziest episodes in Adventure Time, Ploy, the one where Finn has a pillow family and dies, his pillow wife asks him not to forget her, which ultimately he does when he dies and then returns back to his normal body in his normal world. I don't know if Finn saying he will never forget Huntress is a reference to that or not. It's also just kind of ironic. Huntress's body then gets blown through the spirit world, as roots then reach out, touching her different body parts, transforming them into tiny little seeds. Huntress's spirit being separated from her body, as we watch the seeds get thrown into different portals, each of these portals leading to a different universe. For example, the vampire universe, the baby universe, as we see a baby cinnamon bun eat the seed, a space universe, what is possibly the farm universe, an underwater universe, and Fiona's universe. Meanwhile, Fionna is taking care of baby Finn, as she is on the phone with Simon, asking for tips about buying property, while Simon does his best to try to care for Finn. Huntress, meanwhile, is dealing with the chaos of the spirit world as an ethereal voice then emerges, asking her if she is alright. As well, she is getting plagued by random sounds that are coming from each of the dimensions that her body is in. Huntress crying out that she needs to get back to Ooh, she needs to save Finn. The voice telling her, if you want to leave, little homie, you just need to pick which direction you want to grow. As she focuses in, hearing Fiona's voice talking to Simon. Huntress being transported to the seed, which is in Fiona's room, as we see her kind of transform, embodying this seed in a tiny little body. Huntress struggling, managing to grow a root, jumping down into Fiona's half-dead plant as she buries herself in the dirt. Meanwhile, back in Ooh, Finn, whose condition is worsening, is being transported to the Candy Kingdom, as Season 2, Episode 2 of Fionna and Cake comes to an end. And yes, that was Adventure Time, Fionna and Cake, Season 2, Episode 2, an absolutely insane, bonkers episode. I mean, the fact that Huntress Wizard, we literally see her get her body blown apart is just like absolutely unhinged. I mean, the original Adventure Time series was also like super unhinged at times. I mean, some of my favorite episodes are like some of the most like unhinged Adventure Time episodes, but now that Adventure Time is on HBO Max, they can really like take it to a whole nother level, as they're not as worried about like, you know, having to do child ratings for Cartoon Networks, they can really just go all out and do absolutely insane shit like in this episode. So now after this episode, we have a much kind of better idea of like what the future of this season is going to look like. With Huntress Wizard now, being out of her body being blown to pieces, transformed into these tiny little seeds and then set off into different dimensions. Huntress having to go to Fiona's world to inhabit this seed that is part of her body in Fiona's dimension. The majority of the story in this season then going to be focused around Fionna and Huntress Wizard teaming up together, venturing out to these different dimensions, these different universes, to collect the seeds that are part of Huntress's body. As it very much looks like we're going to be visiting several of the universes we've already saw in Season 1. For example, the post-apocalyptic vampire universe we saw in Season 1, where Marcy and Simon never are together, so Marceline ultimately becomes the kind of vampire queen as vampires run the world. I imagine there'll be several other reoccurring universes that they go and visit, as well as some brand new universes getting to explore some very interesting, kind of plot lines here. Speaking of Unhinged, can we just talk about like that reveal of like the bramble bush in the heart of the forest? The fact that this bramble bush is actually just sitting on the head of this massive like eldritch horror, like Dark Souls looking boss type like wooden deer creature. This creature as well being chained to the ground, which would seem to indicate that these green wizards, this thing being the source of their magic, the green wizards were binding this creature there so they could tap it for its magic, which is kind of fucked up, man. As well, there was this like weird spiritual void area that Huntress entered in the portal, as well as that ethereal voice that she heard. A lot of questions waiting to be asked on just what the fuck is going on here. And knowing Adventure Time, it's very likely that we will actually get answers to those questions, as Fionna and Cake especially has been very, very good about like, following up with like lore tidbits and not really leaving too many loose ends that they aren't going to explore. A lot of times with Fionna and Cake especially, and with like the later seasons of Adventure Time, whenever like plot things are brought up, they are brought up with a very like specific, like intense, intrinsic reason, as these plot points are going to be referenced again and hold, some kind of significance later on in the future. I'm absolutely loving season 2 of Fionna and Cake. I love that they are deciding to focus this season around Huntress Wizard and Finn, this old adult Finn, and their relationship, as Huntress Wizard is one of the coolest and one of my favorite characters from Adventure Time, but it was a character that we never really got to see that much. Like, she was in quite a few episodes. She had a couple of episodes where her and Finn were kind of the core characters, but overall, compared to like many of our other like core plots of characters, Huntress Wizard really didn't get that much airtime, which I always thought was a shame, as she was very much a fan favorite, especially once people learned that her and Finn ultimately get together in the future when Finn is older. I think this as well will be really cool, because we'll get to kind of explore the relationship between Huntress and Finn, obviously through Fionna, as I imagine that Huntress and Fionna will probably talk about like their her relationship with Finn. So it'll be very interesting to see these kind of cute details hopefully get to emerge about their relationship. As well, we have the gender flip side of the relationship, the kind of budding relationship between Fionna and Hunter, the gender-swapped Huntress Wizard in Fiona's world. So it'll be kind of funny to see how these two relationships will kind of mirror each other in this season. As well, knowing Adventure Time, I imagine there's going to be a bunch of other really cool twists and turns, as well as fun references to the original Adventure Time series, whether through kind of characters, little offbeat, just kind of throwaway moments. Like, they love doing this stuff. Like, as much as, like, you can watch Fionna and Cake and not really having watched Adventure Time that much at all, Fionna and Cake very much is for the hardcore Adventure Time fan base. Like, if you've watched Adventure Time, like from season 1 to 10, multiple times, then you're going to pick up on like all of these like funny little Easter eggs, moments, and references to the original series. Like, this is very much for the hardcore fan, and as a hardcore fan, I absolutely love it. Adventure Time to me is one of those series that's like super important to me. Like, it's one of those series that is super comforting. Like, I can just throw it on in the background in the living room and just have any number of random episodes play, as it's one of those shows that like, it's just so heartfelt, it's just so fun and lighthearted, but also like really deep and like powerful at the same time, as it really is funny seeing how Adventure Time evolved from this like fun kind of goofy show to like a very serious show filled with like really like dark, intense, like deep character moments. I mean, if you just look at like the list of like random Adventure Time quotes, you'd be surprised at just like how deep this show can really be. As always though, guys, with these videos, these are just my thoughts and opinions, so let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think of Adventure Time Season 2 so far? What did you think of Episode 2? Let me know in the comment section. If you did like this video, then why don't you check out some of my other videos, which I'll put on screen now, like some of my other Adventure Time videos. Again, guys, thank you so much for supporting me. I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Until next time, peace, love, Otto.